Oh dear, what happened? What happened? Well, I love how I made thumbnails in preparation, and we got all a bit cocky and a bit confident, but we just about managed to squeeze in. Hello, guys, welcome to the next episode in the USA Play through on FM13, and this is then episode, I think, three, yes, number three, sorry. Um, and yeah, we just about managed to squeeze through. So we've got Mexico, Costa Rica, and Honduras all qualifying. We went through to a freaking playoff. Now, um, what? No, these are now. I've decided I'm going to start editing the videos now, just so I don't like. Also, I'm going to have to due to spoilers and so on in the fixtures, obviously. So just be prepared for that. But what we're going to do is go over these and actually, how the hell did we end up at 2-0 to Costa? We got beating Costa Rica 2-0 very handsomely, and then losing 6 games with a negative goal difference. Just about. Look at that. Level on points with El Salvador, 72nd in the world. And incidentally, to be fair to them, that's actually the highest they've been for like years, probably ever. El Salvador, incidentally, in fact, we'll get onto that in a minute. But the first game here against Costa Rica, as you can see, Ricardo Miranda got himself sent off after scoring, but David Williams, I'm really going to have to stop myself from saying Williams, um, was in the goal. So that is at the Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Foxborough. Why does that ring a bell? Oh yeah, but yeah, the this is the game. This is the game here. Miranda, a little tap in. I think the centre backs combining with Cook and Miranda with the goals, and this is now the other one here. The slight breakaway. Don't know what they were doing, but here's Williams all the way. Never was in doubt, was it? Incidentally, yes. So finishing level on points with El Salvador. They're a country, or we're a country at least, that was run by one family of basically gangsters. Apparently, that's what we learnt in Year 8 RE. We then actually lost once again to Honduras. Don't ask me what happened here. We've also got the Gold Cup coming, which is why I'm not going through the fixtures. We've also got the Gold Cup, as I say, which is basic, as I said in the last video, the equivalent to, well, in North America at least anyway, the European Championships, Euro 2012 or whatever you want to call it. I mean, this was in Honduras, but still, I don't understand why we lose to how we can lose to Honduras. They're not that great, really. Let's be honest, especially when you compare to America. I mean, okay, we are 30th in the world. If you're wondering, I probably should show the world rankings, and if you have been asking, sorry, that is one thing I probably should have shown you. But we'll show you. I'll try to remember it at the end of this video. So I think, I mean, that was a slightly lucky break. I'll admit that was. I mean, they did get slightly lucky there, but there's nothing lucky about this. This was just straight up poor. Two poor clearances. This was okay. Reyes, still not quite sure about, although he is like a sort of. I mean Morgan there with a terrible tackle. Well, I say terrible tackle. He got the ball, but it's like sort of magnets in the boots type thing again, where it just breaks to their players. Like you just can't buy a break. Well, lovely takedown by Manuel Zeno, and that's 2-2. What was I going to say? Yeah, Reyes, I'm still a bit unsure, even though he is like a sort of second son to me. I mean, look at that. I don't know what the goalkeeper was trying to do, but so, he sort of. Actually, yeah, I can't explain what he was trying to do. Maybe it looped over him and I'm being a bit too harsh, but. Well, what I mean by second son with Reyes is, of course, I've mentioned in the last video, I've got this sort of thing in my mind that he's from the mean streets and he's sort of like Mario Balotelli type thing, the way Mancini was to Balotelli. Next game then was against El Salvador, and we managed to beat them 6-2. So you can actually see the gulf in class really here, especially when we take into account it's in America as well, in Dallas. So let's have a look at these goals. Fortunately, we did concede 2, which was annoying, but when you score 6, you can't really complain all that much. Anyway, here's the first one coming up. But but obviously there are certain things you can't do. Obviously, there's no training, for example, and you are restricted, obviously, by the international thing. It's not the same as club football, and a lot of people do shy away from international management on FM. I do see a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't like international management. It's boring." Yeah, I'll admit it is. Slightly boring. Goalkeeper maybe found wanting again. Maybe could have caught that. I don't know. Little maybe being a bit harsh, but at this level, at international level, people always go on and say, oh, you've got to be at the absolute best you can, and well, let's be honest, that wasn't the best either. Neither was that from Argueta there, or Argueta, whatever he's called. Poor goalkeeping again. Then again, do you really expect world class goalkeeping at this level? I don't. USA versus El Salvador, melting pot for goalkeepers. Here we go. There's Savage. I think that was his first one of his hat trick, as you saw. I think that's what now. That's 3-1, I think. And then, goalkeeper again. It's sort of, that one was almost sort of Paul Konchesky versus Pepe Reina in the FA Cup final 2006. That wasn't it? Very, we completely didn't mean it, but shocking defending from El Salvador there. Savage just runs right through them. And I think at this point the game really was up. We were at no point really going to lose, but it was kind of just annoying the fact that we conceded 2 goals, 2 kind of lucky goals. But Shane Savage there grabbing his hat trick. That was 5-2, and this obviously was a little ice on the cake here to make it 6. So obviously all the names and so on, I'm not going to go over them all in absolute detail. You probably will know them by the time we get to the World Cup. That's when you want to know them. And obviously you'll get to know more as I go through the Gold Cup in a moment, see how we did in that. Obviously you can start to get an idea then of how I picked the team. But so, we're going along okay here, 6-2 against El Salvador, and then we beat Jamaica 2-0 with Savage and Manuel Zeno scoring here. It took us a while to break them down. As you can see, the man of the match there was the right back, Young, 8.2 his rating. Steve Campbell there, the striker for us, didn't have a particularly have a game either. But it's Shane Savage again, good player. Outside here, there's Lewis, puts it into Savage, and that was 1-0, 70th minute, 30 goals for him for America. Good on him. So again, as I say, pick out the names that the common names that you see, and I'm sure you get the idea. But Manuel Zeno, slightly lucky goal, deflection of the goalkeeper. I don't think he could have done much about it, as it was hit right at him, like an inch away. But the all counts, I suppose, 2-0 against Jamaica. So that was just a little banana skin. Literally, if you want to go by the colours, in Denver there. Again, I love the names. Invesco Field and Mile High. I'm just going to do an American accent there, but I'm going to avoid it. Okay, so we move on from Jamaica, and unfortunately we lost to Mexico in the Azteca, I would assume, given that attendance. Gaetan. Now, Mexico are actually amazing. They're not, I think they're in the top 10, or they're in the sort of top 15. Good teams, the two I want to just point out real quick to you are actually, they're not actually in the team. That incidentally is not the Man United player Zuniga. He's, as you can see now, he plays for Pescara. I think that's in Italy, I think. But the Gaetan there, as you can see, scoring. I'm just trying to, the 2 players, there's 1 player I do want to highlight, the other 2 I'm not here. There's Ignacio Avila, don't think related to Joan Avila from days gone by on previously. Let's see, is he related? Yeah, I'll show. In fact, okay, there's this guy here, basically really good, plays for the Pumas in Mexico. But there's one other player I just want to point out. This guy, one of the best players on the game at the moment, and he just so happens to be Mexican. He plays for Real Madrid. His stats are unbelievable. Striker, attacking centre midfielder, Javier Mondragon, or whatever the frigging heck that accent does to his name, I don't know. Started out in America, whatever it's called. Benfica then signed for 18 million and sold him off for a staggering £44 million. Don't know what that is in euros, but he's an absolute beast. Also, if I just show you his favourite personnel, actually, isn't there? Is he the manager of Mexico? Indeed, he is. It's with his eyes. Looks like he's just seen a ghost. He's actually not in the team. Okay, there's also another player, bizarrely, also called, you won't believe this, Javier Mondragon. But he's actually, that's his middle name. His actual full name is Francisco Javier Mondragon. So you've got Javier Mondragon and Francisco Javier Mondragon. And they're not related. I know, I was fucking confused as well. I don't blame you if you don't follow me with that. But I'll just show you this goal then. This was Gaetan's goal. I wasn't too disappointed here. I mean, it would have been nice to have maybe got a point here. This would have solidified our status, but what can you do? I think this was our first competitive defeat as well. No, it wasn't. Our first competitive defeat was against Honduras. I think I said again, I think that may have just spoilt it. We actually, okay, I've just spoiled it. I earlier said Honduras. I earlier actually said, or if you watched the previous video, we went undefeated in the previous year. Well, I've just told you, yeah, I've spoiled the later one. Sorry, that was we lose to Honduras again. I'll just say that. Okay, so we lost 1-0 to Mexico, and this is then when things started to just creep in. Things, started to get a bit nervous, but we did thankfully beat Costa Rica 1-0. Steve Campbell this time with the goal. He's a bit of a veteran, I think. He's 30 years old now. He's at Wycombe Wanderers. You can kind of see the level we're talking here. But Wycombe are actually, I think they're in the Championship. I think they're or thereabouts. Manuel Zeno had a quiet game this time, which is rare. He doesn't usually have quiet games. But this is it here. I'll show you this goal now. Lopez, Manuel Zeno off the bar. Bennett probably should have found Manuel Zeno there. It's kind of a crap pass. But if we look here again, you can just sort of see, typical. These are all regen sort of. I don't even think you can buy these if you're at club names. So like Torres, for example, just so stereotypically South American or North American names. Here we go. Yeah, I'd say literally, I don't think even Costa Rica have a manager. Paul, I didn't even know what the defender was doing there. Did he sort of try to control it? You can't try to control it like that in that much space and time in your own box. That's just silly. But thankfully it was another point, so we're going on quite nicely at this stage. Okay, defeats to Honduras and Mexico, but I'm not too disappointed. We've beaten pretty much everyone else. And then this is when things started to go slightly wrong as we lost to Honduras again. As I say, this is where I should have probably at least spoilt it. Sorry about that. As you can see, defender there, the captain, Mendez, had an absolute worldie. And I probably underestimated Honduras. I mean, it was in America as well, so I thought maybe we really should win here. But it's in Toyota Park in Illinois. I would assume that's Chicago. Obviously I know Chicago, Illinois, but, it doesn't actually say Chicago. I don't know whether there's another area there, but yeah, this is literally like a minute into the game, and I did pick one or two young players and probably live to regret that. I think players here such as Luna, number 3, he's only young. I think Cameron, he's only 21. They're only young players. They're not actually that great, but yeah, there's another goalkeeper. I'm just trying all sorts of different goalkeepers because Honduras in heaven. It's bad when you see that. But basically what I'm trying to do with the goalkeepers is try and find just try and have every single one, just try and find the right person to give a fair run to them all. Because the goalkeeper who was the main goalkeeper when I came in was a 36-year-old, 35-year-old. Whilst obviously that's fine, I kind of want a younger goalkeeper. He also, obviously, his name was Borrell. You saw him at the start. He made an absolute shocker of a mistake in his first. In fact, 2 shocking mistakes, really. And that kind of set the tone from the goalkeeper so far, so that's not been very good. So we scroll down even further. We then got absolutely battered, and I mean battered, by El Salvador. Yeah. 22 shots, 9 on target, lots of possession, conceded 5 goals. I don't know. We'll show you the goals anyway. So we still managed to score 2, yes. Really, 5 goals. There's another goalkeeper there, Luis Acosta. Didn't have a particularly good game. Just keep putting him. I mean, I don't know whether he had like an actually crap game. And usually if a goalkeeper's had a purposefully bad game, because it'd be like a 5 point something. But if he's on a 6, then chances are it's not really his fault. He's just conceded a load of goals. But a nice goal there from Manuel Zeno. I thought we would go 3 points in the bag already. But kind of terrible defending, really, by I think it was Suarez there or Cook. Let them in, and things just really got worse, to be honest, as you'll see the game rolling on here. But here we come with another chance. Manuel Zeno, persistent, and Bennett with a good cross to Campbell. Nothing the goalkeeper can do about that. Totally away from it, and 2-1. So we really went level too long. But that really is, and this is when things really this was when things started going bad. Reyes arriving, Gerrard-esque, dare I say, on Johnny on the spot, and he blasted it home in the 41st minute, just before half time, and we still kept scrapping and all the way. And this is in the 72nd minute, pulled it across, and that happened. I was absolutely stunned. I just didn't know what was going on. So at this point, we're just overloaded. I was like, I'd rather lose 4-2 than 4-2 and trying to at least get a point. But unfortunately, we were overloaded, and to be honest, that wasn't even down to the fact that we were overloaded. That was just straight up bad defending. So this is, a lovely run here from Flores, and that's 5. I just couldn't believe this. Stunned, absolutely stunned I was. So that's 5 El Salvador, probably one of the worst defeats I've ever had. I mean, considering the fact that we scored 6 past them, yet they managed to score 5 past us. I don't know, I'm very confused. So say, worst result I've ever had? Do you think I can top that? I can, because I lost 2-0 to Jamaica. Oh god, yeah, I lost to Jamaica. This was embarrassing. In Kingston as well. Oh, we didn't have a soft shot on target. Everyone was like, oh, pick these players, they're really in form. One thing that really pisses me off on this as well when it comes to international manager, that's sort of like a catchphrase, and I've got to say in everything. There's one thing that pisses me off. But no, seriously, there's one thing that really, it's weird, this game, because it is kind of real when you look at it in the way, because the media are very two-faced, and they're never happy, they're always going to moan about something. But what it does is, it'll moan about one player, it'll say, this guy doesn't have enough experience. Why did you pick him over the experienced X player? But then in the next article it'll say, why has he picked this player? He's not young enough. It's like, what the fuck do you want? I picked 2. Oh, it's so stupid. But the best one was the media like, Smith deserves call up. Misa deserves call up. Jimenez, Brown, Lopez deserves call up. Savage should be dropped, etc., etc. Bennett should be dropped. Acosta should be dropped. They hate him. I don't know what the fuck they hate. They hate him. He's always in bad form. It's weird. Maybe he just doesn't get picked. I don't know. But yeah, the media are always right. Bollocks. And this. Well, to be honest, I imagine they would have had a better game if the fucking captain didn't get himself sent off 11 minutes in. Here are the goals anyway. Peters and Watkins with the goal. Or the goals. We had more possession, as you can see, but really we didn't do a whole lot with it. And this is easily the worst defeat I've ever had in Football Manager. Certainly in FM13. Don't know about all the time ever. I think I may have lost one time, maybe in the FA Cup, to like some non-league team years and years ago, because I was terrible. And I mean terrible at this game. I used to just cheat and everything. I was awful. I was 14 or something. But yeah, this really was just awful. Down to 10 men. Had to attack. And I don't know how that went off the post. That was about as central as it got. So, yeah, you can see now that this is when we really started to just suddenly go, oh dear, we're slipping. And bear in mind, we had to play Mexico again as well. So, yeah, lost to Honduras, lost to El Salvador, lost to Jamaica, lost to Mexico, 4-1. Got a bit of a drubbing here, 4-1. Javier Mondragon, there he is. I told you, I warned about him before. Where's the other one? Where is the other Mondragon? There he is. Francisco Javier Mondragon. I don't know. But Mexico are good, trust me. And these are the goals here. Not very good at all. We had 3. I mean, okay, we did a damn sight better than we did against Jamaica, arguably, if you look at them stats. But, yeah, slightly disappointing. But Mondragon's really good. Soto, gotta catch that. Gave him a chance. And they're screwing it up. Really, God, it's like, who's got the worst goalkeeping problem? England's? Okay, England's are okay now, actually, since we've had Joe Hart, and I know people unfairly criticise. Honestly, I was calling for Joe Hart to come in 2008. Remember the Croatia game? I mean, I think that was... I don't think he would have come in. I didn't say for him to come in then. But do you remember the Croatia game when Scott Carson made that absolute horrible error at Wembley, against, I think it was for Cranshaw? Shot, you know what I'm talking about, probably, when England failed to qualify with, the Wally with the Brolly McLaren bit. I remember around then saying, why is Joe Hart not playing? But Eason got us a goal there, that was 3-1, but first goal for USA. I wouldn't say it gave him away back in the match as such. But yeah, this was... I think if we got another goal here from that attack, if we'd actually been a bit more positive... One thing we do like to do quite a lot is pass backwards. I don't know why, I haven't got anything set like that. I mean, why do players do that as well? Soto should be picking that up. Sorry. Um, but yeah, I don't know. What is that little flick on? It's to nothing. And half the time, pretty much 100% of the time, it just goes to a fucking opposition player. I don't get it. What's the point of it? Um, right, okay, I'm just scrolling through again. I have to keep scrolling. And that was the last one. And we had to beat Mexico. And we didn't. Even then, even if we had beaten Mexico, we were not going to get through. So that's what I mean. If we beat Jamaica, hell, even if we'd beat Jamaica, it wouldn't have made a difference. No, that's what I mean. If we'd beaten basically all you had to do is beat El Salvador and Jamaica, the two bottom clubs, we would have gotten through fairly easily. We would have finished second, but we didn't, and we got our asses kicked by Jamaica, who are 99th in the world. The reggae boys. sorry to someone who doesn't listen to a lot of reggae, hip hop, a lot of mobo, if you will, music of black origin. That just looks a lot it's almost parody like that to me. Sorry, yeah. So that's how things look then. Playoff USA. We're going into there. You won't believe who we got. You really won't. Yep. Argentina. Bloody Tina. The old enemy, I suppose, for me, in a way. Obviously, the whole English thing. I mean, not that I'd say I don't really support England all that much. I think they're an absolute failure of a country. The FA are corrupt as fuck, and quite frankly, there's a part of me that wishes football in England would die on its arse so it can be reborn again. But that won't happen anytime soon. Anyway, moving back to this, as you can see, obviously we have to play them in November. It was basically a playoff. Whoever got here was through to the World Cup. It really was as simple as that. The other teams we could have got incidentally were Iran and Bahrain. Oh, sorry, not Bahrain. So that was in the last one. It was Iran and Vanuatu. Yeah, we got Argentina. But in fairness, we got a 2-2 draw. Now, I just want to point out, Argentina aren't actually all that great. They're good, but they're not the Argentina we know now. With Higuain, Aguero, Messi, Lavezzi, Mascherano. Who else? I can't even think half the players because I've got all these names in front of me. It's kind of off-putting, but you know what I mean. The frighteningly good team are Argentina, at least offensively. Anyway, not necessarily at the back. I mean, I've seen a great picture that represents Argentina. It was like Argentina in pictures. It was like attacking. The offensive line, a lion roaring. Midfield, it was like a sort of lion ready to pounce. Looking slightly aggrieved, and the defence is basically a little baby kitten because that's what it is. They have not got a good defence, really, have they? I mean, okay, yeah, they've got decent players, but anyway, as I say, I keep getting distracted. Sorry, I like to go on tangents. We got a draw in Buenos Aires. I was really happy with this. We do seem to thrive in that sort of underdog role, which I'll come back to in a bit. And yeah, I was really happy with this, and considering we got the hardest draw we could have possibly got. I mean, I think we probably would have beaten Iran. We definitely would have beaten Vanuatu. I'm sorry, I would absolutely have pulled all what is left of my hair out if I had actually lost to, I think it was Vanuatu, one of those names. It sounds like that. I can't tell. They're all the same to me. It's one of those countries from Oceania. Anyway, here's the goal. Peretti off the bar and Navarro. 5 minutes. Honestly, imagine what I was thinking at this point. I felt sick at this point. I was like, well, I'm going to get sacked, and this will be another pointless venture, just like Roma. But no, Savage helped us on here, passed through to Manuel Zeno. Now, I wasn't actually quite sure if away goals mattered. So I just sort of went, oh, get it in, a level. I just treated it as the one game. So I thought, if we can get a point here, which obviously we did, I thought we can definitely take these back to America and, there's nothing to fear type of thing. But Cordoba, lovely, nice finish there. Nothing the goalkeeper can do. Maybe the defence should have been a bit more alert. But Rudman, I'm not quite sure what he's doing here. This is very strange. Again, players not just making life harsh for themselves. And Savage there, 20 minutes to go, fires it in. And we got a draw. We actually got a draw against the RGs. Really, really happy with that. So, how did we do in the return leg in America? You can't believe this, but we won. We actually beat Argentina. Honestly, I don't know how we did this. We won 6-4. Shane Savage there, look, a hat trick. He come good there. He rises to the occasion. He really does. He's an absolutely unbelievable player when he wants to be. 6-4. So we've managed Argentina on not going to the World Cup. If I just sort of show you where they are at the moment, in the 20th, they're not that great, really. You know, usually you say, I mean, okay, look at the players though. You'd see got Messi at Barcelona, it's Aguero at City, Lavezzi at PSG. It's not really much there. I mean, Arsenal, yeah, I've got Cordoba, Navarro's at Porto, but a lot of these players, you know what I mean. Anyway, it's not quite the high caliber thing that we know Argentina to be at the moment, or at least in real life. But yeah, 6-4 in aggregate. Let's show you these goals. Their goalkeeper, as you can see, 5.7, not all that great. 5.4 there, their player. But all the applause has to go to Shane Savage, who's gone on a bit of a rampage lately. So, I mean, I knew we could take them in America. I definitely knew we could. And this was the start here, Navarro. I thought if he takes that down, I think if he had taken that down properly and scored that, he may have changed the thing of the game. But it didn't matter anyways. Cordoba went and scored. No, but what I meant by that was, at the time I thought, right, we're up against it here, but we managed to get a breakaway. Because at that point, because I thought we'd cleared the danger from Navarro. I'm talking at the time. I'm talking at the present time here. But I thought, they'd cleared it, and that was 2-0. It was looking bleak, man, again. So I thought, no, we're not gonna surely be 2-2 again. So that's 4-2, but we bounced back. 10 minutes or so to go for half time. Bennett swings it in. There's Savage, got one back. We went to attacking, we went push higher up. We did all the things that we needed to do. Wing backs doing well. Cordoba's corner here cleared away. Bennett robbing him easy. He's starting to just come good now, Bennett. I think he's potentially forcing his way into the team. Goalkeeper has to come get that, which he does, and clears that to John Meredith here, who is a youngster, looks very promising. Bennett, oh, slightly lucky. What a strike from Elliot Bennett. I mean, yeah, he saw the goalkeeper. I wouldn't say he's miles out of position, but he certainly was certainly off his line, and he was caught there, bounced in, and Savage just putting it in. I don't know whether the goalkeeper would have picked that up off the line, I'm not sure, but we drew level, slightly lucky goal. But there's Savage, looping header over the goalkeeper, hat trick. At this point, I'm out of the room. I've got me show of me hair going crazy. This is absolutely mental. I not literally did that, of course, but it was absolutely crazy. And Bennett firing that in, 6-4. Absolutely unbelievable. So we are through just about to the World Cup. Inspirational, absolutely inspirational. I could not honestly believe it. So we'll get through to the World Cup draw in just a minute, but before all that, the Gold Cup. Believe it or not, we actually won it. We actually won the Gold Cup. Now I was going to take you through the this here, like each one separately, and so okay, we got through the Gold Cup group stages, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and then the final. But that was actually proven to be difficult. This is like the fifth take I've done, maybe not four, maybe like more like 3 or 4. But I kept going backwards into the fixtures, and I kept ruining it, and I kept ruining the take. So basically, I just thought, sod it, let's just go over it one real quick. So I won't take you through the goals in the group stages, as this was the easiest group in the world. Beat Canada 4-2. They were actually, believe it or not, 2-0 up at one point, right on half time. Look, Nelson 15 and 44. We went in 2-0 down to Canada in the opening game of the Gold Cup in America, who exclusively have the Gold Cup pretty much, I think, since like 2015. They've hosted it on their own for every year in the tournament. When we played Grenada, sorry, I keep saying Grenada, with David Morgan, captain there, getting a hat-trick, Bennett with 2, Campbell, Meredith and Gray all scoring. And then played Costa Rica B. Now, why did they send their B team? They were in the Confederations Cup. They'd won the previous one, and they had just played the Confederations Cup, so obviously they didn't want to play 2 major tournaments in the same summer, so they ended up sending their B team, and quite simply, it was cannon fodder for us, so we just won 3-0 very easy. Alan Hernandez there from the right, and Tyler Bradley coming off the bench there to give us a straightforward 3-0 win. So a very easy Gold Cup group stage there. Canada also qualifying with us. So, and then for some reason there's three. I really don't see the point in these group stages, to be honest. It's just so pointless. Most of them qualify anyway. The other teams incidentally were Honduras, Guatemala and Jamaica. Puerto Rico not getting through there, and Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago and Belize going through from the other group, with Panama basically being their cannon fodder. It's actually strange. I don't know if they would have qualified if they'd won and Belize hadn't. Can't look at that because of the goal difference. I don't know. But yeah, we then went on to play Jamaica in the quarterfinal. Steve Campbell with the winner here. 67th minute. As I say, this is in July, so we didn't end up losing to Jamaica and El Salvador, etc. The sort of World Cup qualifying crisis, if you will, until later on. So at this point, it was still an easy game for us, despite the fact that they're a home team there, even though we're technically at home. But a nice header from Campbell. And that was the breakthrough that we needed. Nice work from Meredith, as the game says. So that was a fairly straightforward romp to the semi-finals. And then we managed to actually beat Honduras this time. How many times it took us. But yeah, Houston Civic Park in Houston there, obviously. Callum Lopez scoring and Shane Savage there. He came good. They gave him the number 10 shirt, and I was like, right. In my mind, I was like, you better perform. I've put faith in you here. So... well, to be fair, he did. And here's Callum Lopez going through. Great shot. Very, very good goal. It's an absolute scorcher. First goal for USA for him. Fair play to him. And then right on half-time here, this was the sucker punch, I suppose, from Savage. Just coming up now. Meredith, he's a striker that sort of assists. He's a very weird player, this guy, but knocks it in. Slight deflection of the goalkeeper. Was he offside? I don't know. Probably wasn't. The game says no. So yeah, simple all the way through to the final, where we played Mexico and we actually won. So obviously, considering we lost to Mexico, 1-0 in the fourth phase there, and again losing 4-1, how did we beat them in the Gold Cup? What was the difference here? I don't know. Well, the one of them on Dragon was playing, but they just had quite a game. I don't know. We just dominated them, I guess. The Tad Gormley Stadium in New Orleans. To be honest, it was a very even first half, but in the second half, we were just better. It really was as simple as that. As you can see, straight away. I think this sort of set the tone. Savage 1-0. Up until that stage, it was very even. But once that goal went in, we just had the momentum. And whilst they did have the chances, they just weren't taken. And we just forever had that, from that goal onwards, we just had that momentum. As far as I could see, anyway. They were a bit slow, a bit sluggish. Don't forget as well, their players maybe were a bit tired. I don't know, because they've all a lot of them play in Europe. Some play in Mexico, but a lot of them play in Europe. You saw them on Dragon and so on. Maybe they're a bit tired. I don't know, more tired than our players, obviously, who most of them play in. Well, actually, a fair amount of them play in Europe as well. Maybe not to the level that some of these do, but that was the killer. I think it was then. As you can see, we only have the two highlights. So you see, a lot of these were for Mexico. I mean, I think that one was for us. I think that one was. It was one of those two. But then these two ones for Mexico, they didn't take the chances. We then popped up and 2-0. It really was as simple as that. So Gold Cup winners. I've won an international tournament. Sorry if that was a bit loud. I've actually won an international tournament. So that's the small prize. The big prize then is, of course, the World Cup. The World Cup. What are the draws? So what is the draw then? Where are we going to be? Well, I'll show you the entire thing then. Here's the first group. Chile, Italy, Japan and Russia. As you saw, if you look at the thumbnail, the host is in Egypt. I can't honestly imagine a World Cup in Egypt. I mean, obviously, to be fair, it's the next one, not the next one, the one after Russia, of course, is going to be in Qatar, which is just ludicrous on the face of it. But yeah, because that's a proper footballing nation. If South Africa at least attempts to be at least excited by their World Cup. Come on, Qatar. But if Qatar can get a World Cup, then I'm sure Egypt could. But yeah, these are the opening groups then. So these are the groups. We've got Group A: Chile, Italy, Japan, and Russia. Group B: Germany, Iran, Nigeria, and Paraguay. Group C: England here with a reasonably easy-ish group here with Cameroon, Greece, and South Korea. Group D, this was definitely the group of death, D for death, certainly. As I was terrified of getting in this group. We were the fourth seeds, and as that was shaping up, we had Mexico, Spain, and Uruguay. I really didn't want to be in that group, and thankfully Australia took it. I don't think we could have been anyway, due to the Confederations clash. So yeah, that was a definite group of death. Group E, Belgium, Egypt, Iraq, and Sweden. They were the ones that that was the group I probably wanted. Belgium are good, but beatable, I'd say. And Egypt, the hosts, they obviously had fair seeds. For that, so that they were the first seed in that group. Iraq and Sweden are okay. They're not bad, but they're not great either. Group F, here we are. We got drawn alongside the second place team in the world, Brazil, Croatia, and Senegal. Now, how does that actually stack up? You'll get an idea of how those teams look in the world rankings, which I'm going to show you in a moment. Just to remind you, they're all in the top 20. So that's going to be quite difficult, especially Brazil. Group G, Holland, Honduras, South Africa, and Wales. I know Wales in a World Cup, crazy, but they're actually quite good. Wales, they've been really good for a while. They, of course, were like in the top 5 at one point when, of course, they had that, so I guess you could sort of say a golden generation. The likes of, obviously, Dominic Kemp, Kyle Guito. You remember all these regions, names I can throw out at you if you've been watching for a while. But yeah, they've still got a good legacy there. And lastly, Group H consists of Costa Rica, France, Ivory Coast, and Scotland. Yes, I know, Scotland in the World Cup as well. No Ireland, though, I don't think. There's no Republic of Ireland, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, that's our group then. So we've got Brazil, Croatia, and Senegal, and these are our games then for the coming season. So all these games are going to be live. Now, just a point, why didn't I do the Gold Cup live? Look at the quality of play, look at the quality of opposition. That would have been crap, 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 that would have been crap. Only that would have been good. And to be honest with you, I've played all them. I just kind of wanted to play the Gold Cup final. It was late at night and I just wanted to be able to play it, without shouting and going crazy. So, yeah, just a note on that. And, this isn't a live commentary series. The Celtic save is the live commentary series. But, I'm going to make an exception for the World Cup and we're going to do these. We've got Luxembourg in a friendly. That was arranged by the Luxembourg FA, not me. That was just a friendly that I just accepted in the news feed. But the ones I arranged were Russia, Paraguay and Sweden. So we're going to be taking them on them in the friendlies. Now, the world rankings then. How do we look? I'll also show you a few of the leagues. I'll show you next season. I probably should have showed you that last year, but I forgot, so sorry about that, but I'll show you this one. I'll show you in a bit. World rankings then. Where are we? We are 28th currently, and this is how things look. So Brazil are second, Spain is still top, believe it or not, England in third, yeah, alright, France, Italy, so the world champions there in fifth, Germany, Nigeria, Holland, South Africa, yeah, they're a good team, Uruguay, and there's Croatia, so second 11, and there's Senegal in 14th, so you can get an idea what a tricky task it's going to be for us. So I've arranged, Russia there in 16th. Who else was it? It was Paraguay and Sweden, who are 26th. So yeah, they get progressively worse. Scotland in 24th there. Tunisia, Mali, Cameroon. Just some names to throw at you there. There's Congo, Wales, Iraq. There's Guinea. Some random names. Comoros. These just nations they've created now. Just, it's 2045. Quick, there's bound to be new nations. There's the Cape Verde Islands who at one point I just want to point out we're in the top 30. Top 40, top 35. Probably a little tiny island. The Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland absolutely next to each other, virtually on the same. Well, actually no, they're not. They're quite a fair few points away. Both Western Uganda, incidentally. And there's El Salvador, so they got a big kick out of beating us there, 7th there. Georgia have gone up 22 places. God, no, I think we're getting into just the silly countries now. There's Guatemala, Jamaica. You can, Vanuatu, yeah. They were the team that we could have played today. Is Canada, Faroe Islands, San Marino still. San Marino have gone up a little bit. Considering like 149th now and there's 209, considering they've risen a little bit. But that is basically how things look then. So, England, this is how the Premier League looks. I've deactivated the German League, as I say, I can only have 3 active leagues at a time. This is how the Premier League looks. In fact, we'll show you last season. Believe it or not, Tottenham Hotspurs. Yes, They won the league. I think I may have mentioned this last time, but if I did, sorry. But yeah, Tottenham are the champions. Just want to point out, in case you're new to the series or whatever, Tottenham won it there. First time since like the 60s that they've won it. And that is how it currently looks at the moment. So Arsenal in pole position, City just behind them, then Liverpool, Tottenham, United, Blackburn, Chelsea, Charlton, Brighton. Seem to have fallen away a bit, I don't know why. Yeah, this is how they ended last season. Both Welsh teams getting relegated. And yeah, so cool. That's going to do it from me then. So thank you very much for watching. I will be back then with the first game then in the World Cup. That will be again. Who's it going to be against? Actually, so it's going to be against Senegal. So I'll be back for that. I'll have a World Cup. I'll show you the squad. I'll show you in detail. We'll be proper about it. We'll be featuring all sorts of, hopefully, music and all sorts. I'm hoping. I'll see what I can do with it. And yeah, it's going to be a nice little side thing there whilst we enjoy the summer, shall we say. I like to do sort of, international tournaments and stuff in the summer on Footy Manager, and this year will be no different. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the Senegal game. Bye bye.